Hello everyone! Today we're going to be playing as the Republic of Paraguay, and this is going to be the new DLC, Trial of Allegiance. So this is definitely a good challenge here. Playing as the Republic of Paraguay, you are surrounded by many much larger enemies, and it's a big struggle to get strong, but I have a great strategy. I am excited about this. And I was a little bit disappointed with the achievement that Paradox did come up with for Paraguay, since you do only have to declare war on your neighbors, and you have to do all of that within a month. It's not the worst thing to do because you can basically just justify and use your existing war goals. And yeah, it just doesn't feel satisfying just to declare war and then promptly lose again. So the achievement that I wanted to have in this gameplay is going to be to avenge the Triple Alliance or the Paraguayan War. And so we're going to try to fight all three of these nations, defeat them, and eventually actually core them as well. All right, so first things first, we do have this massive tree. We have a lot of options for military. We have a lot of options for Air Force, Navy, some extra like construction bonuses. This gets us some war goals. And then of course we have the political tree. Now I'm not actually going to do any focus until we have a civil war. We will be having a civil war somewhat soon here after about roughly 45 days or so. In my opinion, it's not worth doing anything because we do need some political power to start to really just get going. So we start with these two units, but we're actually going to just delete these and we'll go ahead and queue up one unit from that manpower and all of that stuff. As far as what we should build, I'm just going to build some infrastructure here since we're going to basically be stuck in this territory for a little while as we have our civil war. And research, let's get the better guns and let's do electronic engineering. Other than that, I think we're pretty much good for now. So let's get going at full speed ahead. So we can go over our negatives that we currently have. We have negative recruitable population factor, bad war support, bad division attack, more justified war goal time from this one. So this one gives us negative 60% monthly population. That's not the worst thing since our population is fairly low anyways. It's actually less than 1 million. And then we have the Monroe Doctrine, which just means that if we were to be attacked by some nation, the US might step in to come to our aid. All right, so we are having our coup now. Now, the thing about this, we're actually going to take this second one, and you may be wondering why, because like, look at those negatives. That's a lot of bad stuff, and the enemy will actually get 10 Paraguayan units in Chaco Boreal, whereas we get 4 Paraguayan units in Paraguay itself. This also modifies the toll of the Chaco War even worse if we do this. Yeah, it's obviously not great. However, it unlocks this right side of the tree here, and this part of the tree is amazing. There are some great bonuses in here. It is very well worth doing. This specifically is going to be one that's going to be massively powerful for us. This is going to get us basically as much manpower as we need to do our conquering. So let's go ahead and do this. We're going to lose all of our current stability. We're going to lose half of our current war support. But like I said, it's well worth it in the end. So we're going to group all of our units down here in Asuncion, and we're going to take this focus now. And as far as what we're currently producing, yeah, we just stick with the guns. We're going to need a lot of guns. You can see we have a pretty big shortage here, and we can go ahead and delete this unit out so that the guns are not going to that as well. They can just go to these units that are already in the field. All right, so we now have enough PP. We can go ahead and take our silent workhorse. It's only going to be 100 P. It's actually not too bad. And we're going to do this a call out for aid instantly. We want to get this as soon as possible so that we can start boosting our manpower. All right, so we got the better gun research. Now let's go ahead and do production tools. And we almost have 150 political power. You do want to save this up because we do need to take this liberal professor next. That's going to be very important for us because our leader has a negative political power gain. Also, we're going to be at 0% stability for a long time, unfortunately. So power gain is just going to be really bad. All right, 150 PP. Let's take the liberal professor. And so that'll bring our political power gain up to 0.8 per day, which is much better than what we were previously at. So that will help significantly. Next, we need to get the army reformer as soon as we can. And I also switched switched our infantry to infantry equipment 1. So slightly better. Yeah, it'll take a little bit to rebuild that efficiency, but I think it's well worth it for the better guns. So you can see our manpower is starting to go up, and that's going to be very, very useful for us. We need that to build up over time because eventually we will be equipping and putting out some more units. All right, so next up we need to do ask for a bankroll. After this, we're going to do emergency powers right away. All right, one more thing I can point out here. So we have this basic infantry division. This is 6 units for a total combat width of 12. This is the same, and there's actually no cost decrease to the manpower or infantry equipment versus the just normal infantry. The only thing is you have a slightly faster training time with these militia, and you have pretty much all the exact same stats, but yeah, just more training time for the regular infantry, and then the organization is higher for the infantry. So in my opinion, we might as well just switch to the infantry because they're better all around. There is a training difference, but I think it's well worth it to just switch to these since there's really no extra costs and we get more org from it. Okay, we finished up ask for a bankroll. This did give us 2 mills, so we now have 3 total mills in a little bit better shape. Still not great, obviously, but we're starting to get there. If we do emergency powers now, this would allow us to justify soon. Maybe I was wrong about doing that right away. So to cross the river is a really good one because you do get 3 Paraguayan units, and these units are really, really strong. They're 3 Marines, and they are going to be very, very useful for us. What do we want to do first? I guess, yeah, like I said, let's just do emergency powers. It's fine for now. So this is actually a really interesting bonus because you can actually declare war on countries with the same ideology group without a war goal. You can also justify war goals against a country that have not generated world tension, and you can join factions led by another ideology. So it's kind of an interesting focus because it will allow us as a democracy to actually expand. So it's very unique in this sense because, you know, normally you are very, very much hamstrung by being a democracy, but the Republic of Paraguay, not so much. We can do a whole lot more with them. All right, so when this focus finishes, we're gonna let a few days pass, and we need to get up to that 100, and then we can go ahead and grab our army reformer, and then we'll do our next focus after that. We can sneak in a little bit extra army XP, and that's gonna be helpful for us. All right, so now we do to cross the river, then we're gonna do by all means which to win, and then down to go to Bolivia. All right, we got to cross the river. That's gonna give us our good units that we can use for defeating our enemy here. We don't want to defeat them right away though. We do need to get down to this focus. You can see these 2 focus, well, I guess just this one will say you have to be in a civil war to be able to complete this focus. But once we finish that one, we can be out of the civil war, and this one actually requires you specifically not to be in a civil war before you can complete that focus right there. Okay, so I'm going to do 2 focuses in a row here now. I'm going to do the army XP and then this one, Arm the Fuerzas Aéreas. So both of these do give military factories, and it'll also give us some air XP daily and more army XP daily, which is obviously going to be very useful for us. All right, so let's go ahead and fix up our dealio here. I'm going to promote a general. It doesn't have to be a great general, but we do need a general. And we're going to promote this guy right here. So right like that. Actually, I should promote one more general here, but I'll do that in a second here. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect or anything. We just need a general. Make a front line with this guy. We'll do the classic trick for planning here. So we're gonna go into Tibet. Doesn't have to be Tibet. I just like using that. We're gonna make a front line with our field marshal, and we're gonna do that for the planning bonus. All right, so now we can freely use all of these units, and we can actually get planning on them. So I'm kind of focusing here on industry at the moment. We do need to get a research here soon. We do need to get mountain infantry 1. This is going to be very, 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 very important for us as we will be attacking in mountains. There is a lot of mountains. Bolivia has a lot of mountains. Argentina has a lot of mountains. Uruguay, maybe they don't, but Brazil has mountains. Chile has mountains. Peru has mountains. It's all over the place. So jungle and mountains, those are going to be the big ones. All right, so let's take a look at this division that we got. This is going to be pretty decent for the early game. It's fairly large, lots of Marines, has some artillery artillery and it has support artillery. So it's going to be good for attacking jungles specifically. And let's see how it performs here. So there we go, 85, only -5% from river crossing. All right, we pushed them out, but we're not going to do anything to take advantage of this yet. Like I said before, we do need to get these couple of focuses done here, but I wanted to take a little detour and start picking up some XP. So that's what we're doing here. And then we'll be able to put more on guns too, so that we don't have such a shortage. Man, I completely forgot, but once we hit 55 PP, we should have started justifying on Chile. I think it's okay. I don't think we lost a tremendous amount of time. We probably lost 50 days or so, but it's not the worst thing ever, you know. All right, I'd highly recommend taking Relief of Command once you have the XP available. You can see I waited a bit too long, but it's okay. I mean, we're still going to get a good amount of XP from that. All right, so we have 100 PP to spare. We're going to do something that seems a little bit weird or maybe counterintuitive, but it will make sense once I tell you why. So currently we have 0% base value stability. That's an important thing to think about. So when you select this anti-fascist or anti-communist rates, you gain base stability -10%, and then for 120 days you actually gain 0.7% stability. So that ends up being roughly 12% stability for each of these. And because we're not actually going to lose any base stability, because we can't, we're already at 0%, we will end up getting 24% stability, or roughly around there, just from these two. So for 100 PP. So it ends up being incredibly cost effective. So we're going to do both of those, and now our stability is going to start going up massively. Okay, so now we have an extra research slot. Like I said earlier, we do need to research mountain infantry. So that's very, very important for our strategy in the future here. All right, so we're going to go to Bolivia next. You don't want to take this one. This one's not really going to do anything that important. This is going to be way, way better because it gives us an annex war goal against Bolivia, which allows us to continue expanding after we defeat our enemy here and move into Bolivia and defeat them then. So we do need to wait to finish this focus because you have to be in a civil war. But what we could do is once we get maybe 63-ish days, we can start attacking here in Philadelphia, or we could even do an attack before that and make sure that they don't have any units there. Just stop our units, and then once it's time, we can go ahead and move in. So you can see we actually have negative PP now, and that's because when you do this focus, it actually automatically for you activates the decision women in the workforce. I'm not sure if they actually intended for that to happen or not. It's a bit unfortunate though, because I can't really afford to lose that PP right now. I would not have clicked that, and I don't know, maybe they do mean for you to have to do that, and then it really hurts your political power. But it is what it is. We have to deal with it. We will get out of the hole eventually, but it will take a little bit here. Let's see, we are about halfway done with our Chile justification. Okay, so we're getting close to the end of this focus. I'm gonna go ahead and attack here. Like I said, I do want to see if I can just de-org these guys. I don't want to move into the territory just yet unless it is okay. So we have 11 days. Wouldn't quite work here. Let's stop it and then we'll do it again, and then that should be pretty much good. 14 days. That's obviously more than that 11 days that are left on this focus, so that's actually perfect. We'll be able to de-org whatever's in there. Wait, are we moving faster all of a sudden? 1 day and 14 hours. Yeah, they suddenly moved faster. I don't know why, so we'll have to stall again. 4 days. Okay, so yeah, we got to keep stalling. I'm guessing it was some sort of weather effect. Now it says 13 days. Yeah, there's some sort of weather nonsense going on here. Extremely hot. River Navy. I haven't seen that before. Okay, and now it's 2 days, so it keeps changing. So I guess just watch that. But basically what we want to do is get there. I'm gonna try to stop that. No, go away. Like, I'm trying not to lose days on this focus is the idea here. Okay, so we're not actually going to lose any days because it does save 10. So now we can instantly do this one. We have our war goal against Bolivia, and that's the important thing. So we can attack them immediately now. I guess, yeah, let's go ahead and take this one. This is a good focus. It's going to get us extra army XP gain. This one is going to be useful as well. And both of these are great focuses too, especially early game. This prisoners as soldiers is massively powerful. Yeah, it gives you 6 penal battalions with full manpower, and it also unlocks penal battalions that you can use, and they actually use less manpower than normal infantry. So that's going to be useful for us, especially with the limited amount of manpower that we have. So this one's great as well. You can see there's some negatives there early on, but it does give infantry, basic infantry equipment, which we sorely need. It gives us some malices for a while, and for 210 days. Once that expires, it then then is upgraded to recovering economy. And finally, it gets upgraded to flourishing economy, which gives less consumer goods factor. It gives more construction speed, factory output, and dockyard output. Absolutely insane. So this can make your economy as Paraguay very, very, very strong. So the earlier you can get that, the better it's going to be for you, because then you can start moving through those days, and that will eventually upgrade to some very nice bonuses. All right, so let's go ahead and take this one now. Like I said, we're going to get our units up here to the front line, and let's move these to the front line as well, and we'll just set a order like that. We got to get our field marshal order once again, and something like that will do. We can start building that planning bonus, get all the troops up here. So we have some extra infantry equipment now. We do want to be recruiting more. We need to, basically every time we have more equipment, we need to be recruiting some more units, especially once we fight Argentina. You know, once we defeat Chile, that'll give us a massive front line against Argentina. So the more infantry we can put along this line on our border with Argentina, the better it's going to be for us. At that point, you know, their lines will be spread very thin. They won't have enough divisions to hold the entire border, and we can then easily dispatch them. Let's keep going. All right, so we have 3 troops here. We have 1 troop here. This is good enough for me. They only have 1 troop on the border currently, so we're going to go ahead and declare war. Wow, that is a fantastic mustache. I love it, I must say. I hadn't seen this guy before. I don't think I've seen him as their leader yet, but definitely some nice stats. Extra attack on core territory, extra defense on core territory. Those are going to make plus 30% division defense on core territory from this guy. So this is going to make fighting Bolivia a massive pain. If we don't get our stuff fast enough, it's going to be massive, massive trouble. So we need to spread their lines. Once again, we don't want them to be able to consolidate on this front line. That will cause trouble for us. So we'll see if we can move through here. If we can't, we're going to push out the troops here in Santa Cruz and then move into Sucre. Okay, so far so good. They do have a troop attacking us. I want to try to get into this mountain tile before they can defend it. They did have this tile manned. That's okay. We're going to just keep moving around and trying to get into places where they aren't. All right, we want to keep moving and taking tiles when they leave it open. We also need to watch for them moving troops, because we may need to block. So like if we want to stop this troop from getting somewhere, we can easily just do this, and there, boom, now it's stopped. Okay, and we have a unit that is attacking that now, so that unit will be stopped in its tracks as well for a little while, and that will give time for our other units to move in and hopefully take their capital. So one more thing that we need to do here, we need to use our extra factories. So we need to build a rail line all the way up here. We want to do that as fast as possible. Ideally, I would have started on that immediately, since we only have 2 factories that can actually be used on this. But, you know, just do it when you think about it. The sooner the better. No. That is pain. That is so bad. That's so annoying. I hate it. I hate it with every fiber of my being. They have an actual decent troop in there, which it looks like it is attempting to move out, but it's going to take a long time. But I'm going to let it do that, because yeah, I'd much rather it just move and get out of our way. I may have to stop this unit if it's going to get there before it, because I think that's where it's moving. So we don't want to actually take that territory if that is where it's moving. So you just got to do stuff like this. You need to be mindful of where units are moving and what's going on exactly. So just make sure you're thinking about it. You want your troops to be able to move in as soon as possible. Yep, boom. Look at that. Perfect. All right, so I'm going to get this unit up. I'm going to dump out some more units as well, and we're going to put these units with the frontline order so that they can help just plug the gaps and cause problems for our enemies. All right, so hopefully we can get in here this time. That unit is moving somewhere. I'm guessing it's probably here. We may want to do a force attack and then just use this unit, because it is low org right now, but we need it to be able to hold, or, you know, be able to stop this unit from moving for a while. So we're going to actually force attack, and that will then take extra strength damage, but it will at least stop the unit from moving so we can get our troops in here. That's priority number 1 right now. Gotta keep that unit from being able to prevent our troops. We made it in. Beautiful. All right, so it looks like they're stacking troops down here, which is actually ideal. So like I was shown before, we just need to get to La Paz. These 2 units are going to continue moving. Once we can take La Paz, then we would need to take Santa Cruz as well, and then that would end the war. So we are kind of surrounding this tile as well, so that could be important. Okay, 2 Marines are getting up to La Paz now. We're also kind of surrounding them elsewhere. Oh, and they completely abandoned Santa Cruz. That is very nice. Okay, well, cool. Yeah, that's perfect for us, because we're just going to do some attacks pinning attacks, make sure that they can't get out. We want to attack these units that are attacking and preventing these 2 units from getting into La Paz. So we can maybe do some force attacks up here. It's probably going to be wise because they do have a cavalry that is starting to get around. Obviously, you know, that will use some of our command power, but it's pretty well worth it in order to be able to get the points that we need. So this is a costly war too. You can see we've had massive attrition here, but in the end, you know, it's going to gain us success and gain us a new territory. So there we are. Look at that. And that gave us about 1,500 guns, which is going to replenish a lot of these supplies that we did lose. So we're just going to take everything, confirm and exit, and there we go. Beautiful. All right, so now we prepare for the war against Chile. So that's roughly 50 days. Like I said, I messed that up. If I hadn't messed that up, it actually would have been near perfect on the timing, but it is what it is. You know, it's not the worst thing ever. All right, so we need to connect that. We are also going to need to get a railway over here. So we're going to put this to the bottom. We need to finish up these railways, and then hopefully we'll be getting supplies up here soon. So in the meantime, we can put these troops on the border here. We're going to give them a general order. Once again, we're going to do the front line with our field marshal and try to get planning in that way as well. Okay, so I'm going to leave these here for now. Otherwise, they might take some attrition on the front, so we don't really want to be taking attrition if we don't have to. So you always want to railway troops as well, because if you don't, they will take more attrition. So you can see like this unit is moving regularly, and that attrition is pretty nasty because of the terrain that it's in. So the more you can railroad your troops, the better it's going to be for you attrition wise. You're not going to lose anywhere near as much of your very important equipment. So this is the setup we have right now. We have 2 on-toed artillery. I am importing a little bit of steel. I did want to get slightly better stuff, but I'm actually going to change that now because I do want to build those railways a bit faster. I think that's going to be more important for us than having that bit of steel. Okay, so purge the military out of dissent. That's what we're going to do next. So I'm pretty happy with how this is going so far. I think this is going really well, and I think we should be able to push through Chile pretty easily. I'm going to get these troops down here. Actually, I'm just going to put all 3 down here on the south, and I'm thinking one of these 2 tiles we should be able to push through. Typically, they will attack these tiles that we are holding, and once they do, then they'll deorg themselves. Then we can push back and get to this city. Now, this city is very important because it is a port, and it has a supply hub there. Of course, that's going to be important. This has a supply hub too, but it doesn't matter. They only get supplies there if that railway is able to go through. So yeah, just the front line that they have, it makes it rather easy just to surround them and destroy them. Okay, so we have 20 days to get mountain infantry. That will be enough time. We are going to unlock our special forces doctrine. So we're going to do elevate the mountaineers. We want to try to get all the way down to mountain artillery. That's going to be very important because it will boost our line artillery attack, and that's going to help tremendously. And actually, there's an even more important one in here. So this rough terrain specialist is going to be crazy important too, because we are fighting in the mountains a lot, and any unit that we apply rangers to will get that bonus of plus 28% attack in the mountains. Okay, and we have enough PP. We can go ahead and take our military theorist. Because we have relief of command, it is significantly cheaper, so that does help quite a bit. All right, and we do need to get trucks unlocked. All right, and there's our justification, and just in time we got mountain infantry unlocked. So next up, we need to get interwar artillery. That will boost our artillery's attack a bit, and that will be helpful for us. All right, unlocking mountain artillery. Let's do that. So elevate the mountaineers first, rough terrain specialists, and that's all we can afford right now, but that's okay. That'll be good enough to be able to put rangers into these divisions. And like I said, that's going to massively boost our attack. But you know what though? We don't have too much support equipment. We're going to need to get a mill on support equipment here soon. So as soon as we take one, that will be applied there. So let's go ahead and declare war, and we'll see what they do. I'm guessing they will attack us. No, they don't want to. Okay, fair enough. Let's see if we can push through south. You want to find their like militia unit. I think this is one of their militia units, because you're going to be able to de-org and defeat this one significantly easier. It has less defense value than some of the others that you might fight. This is mountains, but since we have rangers, we are still doing decent attack. I think this attack would be better if I didn't have this shortage. Oh, you know what? I don't even have a shortage of support equipment. So yeah, we're good good for now. We actually have enough. Perfect. All right, so we are crushing them already. They're just able to do nothing. Oh yeah, this is beautiful. So we're gonna get the infantry down to plug the gaps, and then we're gonna keep pushing to the south. So just like that. We don't really need to take any more of this. They will be taking attrition up here now. They don't have a port, so they're not gonna have these supplies that they need. Okay, and we gotta keep pushing every time we can push somewhere. We gotta push. Don't want to wait too long because they will get stronger, and they get surprisingly strong. If you let them have enough time, they will become rather powerful. So obviously you don't want to give them the time to be able to do that. So they did have units down here. Unfortunately, you know, it is what it is. They're still not going to be able to properly defeat us. Yeah, you can see we're still pushing. So we want to bring all the infantry down as well. I'm going to put one more back up here because it looks like we're struggling to hold a little bit. I want to make sure we have enough units in the north too so that we don't get cut off. And we're going to try to connect the railways down here so that we can actually get supplies, because you can see our supplies are in full on struggle mode here. So once again, I'm going to force attack just to ensure that these units are pinned while these units do the damage, and we're going to push that infantry out, and then once we take this next one, we'll have these trapped. All right, we got purged the military of dissent. We're going to do prisoners as soldiers next, and you know what, actually no, we can't do that right now. We need to do something else first. So this focus right here is going to get us an annex war goal against Brazil and an annex war goal against Argentina. Let's go with, I think what we'll do is prisoners as soldiers beneath the shadow to get our war goal. So that'll give us those 6 units that we can then position against Argentina, and then we'll pump out some more units if we can once we have the infantry equipment, and then we'll set up to do this, and then we'll do that afterwards. So that'll give us a good amount of troops and manpower. All right, so we're pushing here now. I'm trying to elongate that so we can actually get that railway done. We might not be able to get it done in time, but it is what it is. All right, I want to keep these units in place once again. Yeah, we're pushing them out. All right, so they actually pumped out one more unit here, but I think if we take this territory, then it's over. So I'm just gonna help push with that unit, and yeah, let's see. Yeah, 94% right now, so that should do the trick. Oh, 99%. No, we just need one territory. There we go. Perfect. All right, so now we have the entire western coast of South America. Well, half of the South American coast, I should say. All right, so we're just going to take all once again. We can't actually take their navy, but this will give us a port. They do have a pretty significant navy, so it is a bit sad, but I mean, you know, what can you do? I guess we could like puppet them somewhere silly, like way down here, but it's not that big of a deal. All right, so I'm going to change to local autonomy here. We need to make our garrison division as well. That's just going to be a single cav unit, and that'll be good for us here. And now we're going to be setting up to fight Argentina. So what I like to do here, we're going to queue up some more units, and basically we're going to make a front line kind of along here, but the main push is actually going to be along the coast and all the way down in the south here. So we want at least one unit of our stronger units way down here. Other than that, we kind of want to follow the supply line. So like one unit in Santiago would be a good idea. Then we can push along the supply line that ensures that we keep having supplies. Same thing, probably another up here, I would say, and then we push along to this supply hub, and then push on down, you know, to Buenos Aires and all the other important spots. All right, so we have enough PP now. Should we maybe go ahead and do, I would say either Chief of Air Force or just do a improved worker conditions. I think this is probably going to be better in the long term because having more stability is really, really, really helpful. Unfortunately, we can't do the trick yet again with the anti-fascists and anti-communists because we do actually have a base value of stability now. Next up, beneath the shadows of the Triple Alliance. And that gave us these 6 units here, so that'll be good. Let's go ahead and set up our front line. It's going to be just along here, basically as long as we can. You know, we can have 1 unit per tile like that. And we'll do an offensive line somewhere down here. So we can go ahead and start training some more of these too. These are pretty basic here, but they're fairly decent too for what they are. I mean, 52 soft attack, 90 HP, 60 org is pretty solid, honestly. Yeah, when you look at this, like 37, the stats are not really any worse on these. There is more training time involved with these penal battalions, but when you look at this, they use less infantry equipment and they use less manpower per division. So that is pretty important. I'm actually going to go ahead and change all of these to penal battalions, and that will save us some manpower and it will actually save us some guns too. So yeah, 711 infantry equipment back to us, and we're going to go ahead and train up a bunch more of these, just as many many as we can without it taking all of our manpower. So we have 70 days with which to train these two, so we'll be able to pump these out and put them along the front lines, and then we can kind of do just like a general order. We'll be able to micro them and quickly capitulate Argentina. All right, we got an important event here. We can go ahead and get our mountain artillery, which is going to boost our soft attack on our line artillery. That's going to be huge for our best attacking divisions. We don't really have perfect divisions yet. This one's obviously going to be our best at the moment, but once we can, I'm going to duplicate this, and we're going to have an elite of penal battalions. So basically we're just going to add in more artillery to this, and yeah, it'll be our firepower unit eventually. All right, I want a little bit of time to be able to dump these units out and have them actually be able to go into place. So I'm going to dump these out down here. Wow, that is massive. So we'll be able to do a huge frontline offensive. So it's going to be really good. Ah, shoot. I was completely forgetting about this, but we really should have been just fine on Uruguay by now. We have 245 days if we do it right now. Let me see. I think we have a modifier that might be going away somewhat soon. Maybe not. Yeah, that doesn't go away until November 1st, 1939. So no, we have a long time until that goes away. Okay, well, we have time on our side anyways. So let's go ahead and just justify on Uruguay right now. Okay, war goal is done. All systems are go. Let's go ahead and declare war. And that came at the perfect time because I think the strikes were right about to hit. So that's good. Let's go ahead and attack here, and we're gonna move up like that as well. And I think we just need to kind of just once again see where they're not, and that's where we're gonna push. So if they don't have units somewhere, that's where we push. So just as simple as that. Although there's one caveat to that. We actually specifically do not want to take Formosa. If we take Formosa, they'll actually get an event to wipe peace out. We do not want to wipe peace out. That is incredibly important. If we do wipe peace out, it's going to ruin the strategy, because then we would have to justify on them, or we would have to at least take the event to redo the war, and that will mess up all of our front lines. So even if that happens and we had to redo the war, I mean, I guess it's not the worst thing ever, but it's going to slow us down a little bit. So we don't want to be slowed down at all, because it would move us back to our original front lines, and we don't want that. That's not ideal, obviously. So we want to just be on the move and take everything and win the war just as fast as possible. Now we're going to take aftermath of the Civil War. All right, Buenos Aires has fallen. So 95% towards capitulation. So basically we just need a couple more cities, and there goes Argentina. Quite a lot of equipment once again. That's good. We're going to need it for garrisoning all of these territories. So we're going to take all the fleet as well, and that'll do the trick. Boom. All right, so look at that. April of 1938, and we already own pretty much the entire south of South America. So we're going for Uruguay too as well. We have about 200 days left on that. We do have a war goal against Brazil right now that we could use. Don't think we're quite ready yet. I'd like to get some better supplies in the region. You can see up here especially, it's pretty bad. We could maybe try to do a naval invasion. Let me see though. I think, yeah, we don't actually have transport ship research yet, so we definitely need to do that as well. I'm going to go ahead and switch to that instantly, because that's going to be far more important. So now we got the event that taking Formosa actually does. So declares war on Argentina. We're already done with this, so I don't think it matters too much. They're already gone. All right, I'm going to go ahead and take this guy here for the stability mostly, but I guess monthly population can't hurt. So let's go ahead and do that. Next up, once we have the PP, we will want to get this surveyor and the artillery expert. Now this one's kind of interesting because extra reinforce rate, extra speed, and initiative. Quite good for a military high command person. All right, we'll see if this works or not. I'm definitely curious to see what will happen. All right, we're about halfway done with the Uruguay justification as well. All right, this is what I ideally want to do with this elite battalion of penal troops. I'd like to even do 4 artillery, but we really probably can't afford it right now and still get a decent amount of those units out. So let's see how many we can actually get before. Well, we have no infantry equipment too, so we're in full-on struggle mode. I think we're losing a lot of infantry equipment from all the different resistance in these states, but we're also building compliance really fast, you can see here. So that's good too at the same time, but yeah, unfortunately it does come at a cost. I didn't even see this, but this says can join factions and it has an X. There's a chance that this won't do anything then, because I don't know how this is gonna work. Well, we'll give it a go and see what happens. Okay, so they denied our request. That's unfortunate. That is so sad. Well, I guess we just build up to fight them on our own then. So So, okay, let's do, trying to think what's going to be best to do right up next. Some of these focuses are pretty decent. I'm thinking probably what's going to be best right away is going to be this specialized terrain training, because this does terrain penalty reduction at plus 10%. It also helps with moving across rivers faster, and our division speed in general is faster then as well. So that will be helpful. So I'm actually just going to give up all this territory up here and hold where we actually hold supply hubs. There's really no reason to just like attrition, and we might as well hold these mountains too where it's more defensible. So we'll do something like this for the defense against Brazil, and that should keep us from attritioning horribly and having just massive problems. All right, there's one justification done on Uruguay, and no guarantee or anything like that. I'm going to go ahead and do a justification on Peru. I have seen where Peru will end up getting a territory in Brazil. For whatever reason, they end up getting like this territory right here, the Amazon. I don't know why that is, but they seem to just get it for some reason. Or it's one of these up here anyways. And it's really frustrating when they do get that territory, because then it is considered one of the core territories of Brazil. And for one of our focuses, we need all of the territories of Brazil. Here we go. So all the way down here, the stuff of legends, this is the one we want to go for. It's to control all the starting Brazilian cores, control all Argentinian, all Bolivian, all Uruguayan, and then we also need British Guiana, Suriname, French Guiana, and that gives us quite a few cores. As you can see there, there's Buenos Aires, Santiago, Mato Grosso, and 85 others are now a core of the Republic of Paraguay. So that will make us incredibly strong, and I like that a whole lot better than this one where we only get 2 extra cores. So definitely much better. All right, so we're gonna try to destroy Uruguay fairly quickly here. I think it won't be too bad, but maybe we'll be surprised at how strong Uruguay is. I mean, I think a lot of these trees are kind of OP, so we may run into some issues, but luckily, you know, this is mostly like plains. Yeah, I think it's pretty much all plain. So this is definitely one of the easier nations to actually conquer. All right, time to declare war, and let's get going. I think we just need the capital and then we win. So I'm just gonna beeline it for it. And there goes Uruguay. Super simple as I suspected. So once again, we're just gonna select all. We're gonna select all of their navy as well, and we can combine that with the current navy that we have. All the way up here, we need to bring those down with our other fleet. We're in good shape. We'll be able to justify and declare war on Brazil soon. All right, so you can see that our manpower is starting to struggle. That weekly manpower just is not cutting it as much, especially when you look at how many troops we now put into the field. We have over 250,000. So the next political power that we are going to be spending is going to be towards getting to extensive conscription. We also have some other focuses that we can do, like down here, for instance, we have mass drafts that we can take. That's going to help get some more recruitable population. I think there's some others in here as well. Let me see here. Yes, so we have this women in aviation as well, but that's only a recruitable population factor of 10%. That's not the greatest thing, but there is another one that's going to be a big one, and that's this one here. So that no second American colonization. This does make it so that we can't join any factions, but that's not a big deal at all. That's perfectly fine, actually. But that gives us a 5% more recruitable population. All right, so I'm going to focus in our naval invasions on 2 specific spots here. We want to take this port and this port. Other than that, we can basically use our artillery around there, and then we're going to push out with those artillery from there. Okay, our troops are in place, I think, everywhere that we need them. So yeah, we have full troop line up here. We may have some trouble holding these territories, but we'll see. As you can see, they actually have gaps in the front line right now too, so that's good to see. We have 10 troops ready to invade, and we'll be able to queue up more troops too here. You can see that we actually have some positives here going for us, so that's good. We want to get as many troops queued as we can so that we can keep going with our push once we get that momentum going. And so Brazil has the same thing here that Argentina had, only it's a different territory. So for Argentina it was Formosa, for Brazil it's Punta Porra, and we don't want to take this territory. Once again, we absolutely do not want to take this territory. So specifically this city right here, you can take the wings if you want to, but do not take this city. That will end the war and just ruin everything, because then with them specifically too, you don't even get the chance to declare war on them again, so you would then have to justify. So it's even more important for Brazil, so we can declare war. All right, let's do it, and we're launching. A bunch of people want to send us rifles. We're gonna just say okay to that. Sure, we will accept. And they are attacking us right away with not great results. Our defense and stats are pretty good, so they are going to have a rough time here. I'm going to go ahead and delete this order though, because I want to be able to move our troops around a little bit more freely here, especially like here. Like if you look at this, we have a big opportunity here to just move right and take some stuff and cut them off entirely. Same thing with these guys. I'm going to free them up a little bit so that we can actually do some pushes. Okay, this is a big event right here. This one is quite important because we can actually take this first one and do gain base stability -5%. However, that's going to grant us 0.5% weekly stability for 360 days. That's huge. That is a ton of stability. This is a great event. It does take some manpower. That's unfortunate, but I think in the end for the bonuses, it is well worth it. So far, not too much resistance, surprisingly. I was kind of expecting more. Yeah, they have nothing. Like, where are all their troops? I thought they'd have more. 13 to 27. That's not that tremendously much. So yeah, we actually outnumber them with troops in the field. Okay, Sao Paulo is open, and we're just going to keep pushing because they don't have enough to actually properly stop us. So that's a good thing. We're going to take full advantage of that and try to cap them as fast as possible. All right, so you can see I completely surrounded Campo Grande. I've just left some troops around there as garrisons as well, and we are pretty much wiping them out about everywhere. We got to clean up a little bit. Like, there's a few tiles that they've now taken back, but it shouldn't be too bad. We have 9% more to go, so we are well on our way here to a complete victory. And there it is. All right, so in 1939 we have now defeated Brazil. Yeah, I think they're gonna be able to get that territory. It's so frustrating. I think Peru is gonna get it unless the devs were able to fix that issue. I'm not sure. We'll find out soon. So we're gonna take everything, confirm and exit. Yeah, Peru now owns the Amazon. Sad, because now we'll have to do an invasion of Peru. I mean, I had already planned for this anyways, so we have 80 more days. We can prepare for this and hopefully destroy them without it being the worst thing in the world, but we'll see. It might be the worst thing in the world. All right, so we're doing a three-pronged attack here to try to reduce some of their effectiveness. Unfortunately, the terrain here is absolutely terrible. We have bad supplies up here as well, so just a bad overall situation here. Unfortunately, there's not too much we can do about it. We can motorize these. That'll help a little bit. I am trying to build more motorized so that we can motorize more of our divisions for the supply purposes. But yeah, we're just gonna kind of all out assault here in the jungles and in the mountains and try to puncture through, or at least pin them down, while our other troops do move in and take these ports, and then try to move inland and destroy the troops as well. So we'll see how well this idea works. It's not perfect, but I think it will do decently well. All right, our justification on Peru is complete. Let's go ahead and do this. All right, fingers crossed. I think we'll actually be good. I'm not anticipating a ton of issues here. We're actually pushing through the mountains currently. Good, we're gonna actually start getting some troops from real manpower now. That will be really nice. I'm gonna wait a little bit here and get extensive. No, I can't even do it. Unfortunately, they don't have enough strength ratio to compared to us. It is what it is. It's all right. Yeah, we're actually pushing through. Kind of crazy. Wait, oh, I forgot to click this. I feel dumb. That was a mistake. All right, first port is guarded, but we're gonna sneak in behind here, and we've got a troop going there as well. And we've actually got 2 Marines on this, so pretty significant attack here. Wait, I can go to extensive. Oh, yes, perfect. Okay, we got to get to Cusco if we can. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do a force attack here. I'd like to be able to take this if we can. And yeah, so we do have ports here now too. We can go ahead and bring these troops in. What are they looking at? 47%, that's all? They don't have that much, do they? They do hold Cusco, and they hold Arequipa. Other than that, though, there's 1 victory point here, 2 victory points here. So we kind of need this territory right here if we can push them out. So we gotta kind of get all hands on deck there. Yes, perfect. We knocked that unit out, and so now these are completely trapped in between our 2 units, and they're attacking this one, trying to get out. So we're also about to take Cusco. Other than that, there's not too much else that we need. We're gonna have their units completely trapped and out of supply. They do have this one is a 2 victory point place as well. Maybe we should try to attack that instead, actually. Whew, there goes Peru. Okay, that was a little bit difficult, but in the end we got it. It's all good. The biggest thing is we were attacking in so many mountains, we lost a lot of equipment. So when you take a look at this here, yeah, now we're massive deficits. So we'll have to be fixing that. I really need to be building some more mills probably, just to try to to address that issue. So now our next step is just to declare war against the UK, France, and the Netherlands. And that should be fairly easy. Germany is not at war with them yet. So we might just want to wait until they attack Poland. Because if we don't, what will happen is we will justify here. They would have all of those days in which to move troops over there and prepare for our attack. So if we wait, they will not have all of that time, and we'll be able to just crush them that way. So we can also try to make sure that we have all of these connected with railways. That is going to help significantly to be able to get full supplies in those regions. Okay, there it is. Germany declared war on Poland. So now we will be able to do a much faster justification here. So I don't think it matters too much whether we do UK or France. Either way, they will be joining the war. Yeah, that should be perfectly fine. We're getting our troops up here currently, and we're just going to try to quickly sweep across and completely destroy. So we'll see if we can get that done in a fast manner. Okay, and we have some very important stuff that we need to do now. I really probably should have done this immediately after we defeated Brazil. I kind of waffled and did a few other focuses that weren't really as necessary. So we need to get this focus, then this focus, and then all the way down to the stuff of legends. And this will happen once we take British Guiana and all of those other Guianan. All right, our justification on, I think it's the Falklands, is actually complete. So let's declare war, and hopefully France will join in. Yes, perfect. They called France in instantly, but will the Netherlands join in too? That's the other question. So far they aren't. We have 140 days if we have to do that. Oof. Oh, it's because they're not actually in the Allies yet. That's frustrating. Well, I guess I'll start justifying now. Germany will be attacking them soon though, actually. And then they'll join the Allies. I'll just wait for that. It'll make more sense. Ah, there it is. Netherlands declared war on by Germany. But will they... Okay, perfect. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Netherlands. Perfect. All right. We have finished up the stuff of legends and gained our cores. So let's see here. We have a total... Well, let's let it run. 2.29 million free manpower now with an eligible core population of 85.79 million. So I would definitely say that we have now fully avenged the War of the Triple Alliance, and Paraguay has gained its rightful state as the powerhouse of South America. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, leave a like, hit that subscribe button, and be sure to hit the bell icon to be notified when I upload more things in the future. And definitely, if you guys can comment down below. Okay, all right guys, I will see all of you later. Bye bye.